Okay, so hi everybody. Let's see. It's Wednesday, April 8th. I missed you all for a week. And what I pulled up in front of us is Moodle. All the gray stuff you can ignore, okay? Um, it's just certain notes. But what I do want to call attention here is week 11 activities. Please don't forget, I think we're at the end. Somebody help me. I think we may be at the end of all the article summaries. Is that true? We are, okay. Make sure you've got them all in, right? If you didn't, and you still do them, and you still read articles and learn stuff and write them up, I will welcome your PDF file.
Please send me an email if you submit it.
They can't submit it, it's locked. Okay?
I got one via Dropbox. That worked very well.
So John and I care about your success, right? That's all we care about. You're here in school not to get nailed for grades, but to learn and be successful. That's our goal. And we're not doing our job if you don't feel supported by us, okay? So what we would appreciate is if you didn't turn in articles because you didn't have time to read them that week, then by all means, go back because you still need the information. Write up your PDF, write it up, create a PDF, and email it to John and I. You get only 2 more weeks of reprieve. Otherwise, you're going to drown us. So after week 13, we're not nice anymore. We slam the door on you. Okay? That's it. Because otherwise, you're going to be busy chasing after stuff that's not important when your field guide's of primary importance. Okay? Everybody get that? All right. So go look at your grades. Make sure. All right? And I think John and I are pretty current with grades. I think. I am not sure if I'm as current with your restaurant menus. I might not be, but don't worry. This week, what's really important is storyboarding. Raise your hand if you're not familiar with storyboarding. Okay. Storyboarding is like you being a director, a movie maker. Storyboarding is, what's a storyboard? Storyboarding is telling a visual story. Basically, what happens, what's scene 1, what's scene 2, what's scene 3. What's the point of view, what's the perspective, what's the information, what happens from scene to scene. That's a storyboard. It's a visual. You don't have to be a perfect illustrator to create a good storyboard, but you have to communicate your idea and your point of view. So this one is about somebody walking somewhere and filling up a bucket, and then a different person comes because they have a different pair of shoes, right? And so one person looks like a fisherman boots and is fishing, and the other person looks like a city slicker and steals the fish. That's my story for that, right? And if you have a little narrative beside it that says you're using your roughs of how you're laying out your pages, okay, for your field guide, because now you've organized your field guide, you've created an outline. Your outline is going to help you understand what's on your pages and what's on your content. What you should do is make notations of how you will reveal information. Okay, these aren't obviously field guides, but let's say they are. Let's say this is all about fishing. And the first perspective, this one is all about great fishing spots. So maybe there's buttons here, and you would have a narrative beside it that says buttons that you click on to locate fishing spots. Then here, let's say this page is about at that location. So it's a picture of the fishing spot, right? And all your comparative stuff. You might have buttons in the same place because you're going to use master pages there. And then here's what you can catch or something like that. Make a narrative of what interactive techniques you're going to use for each of the pages, essentially, to your storyboard, to your field guide publication. Does everybody get that? Did I say that right for all of you? All right. So storyboards are creating visual scenes and writing narratives. These are storyboards for movies, or they're storyboards. You can use stick figures, whatever it is. In other words, what you're going to do is make little reduced thumbnail. You could use your digital files that you've already created. Because they're static, we can't tell what's going to be active about them. Now I'm going to use Alex today because he's got a very developed set of field guide pages. So does Annie, actually. And I want you to tell us how you believe each of those are going to interact, and that's what's going to go on your storyboard. So you'll get today the conversation of what the storyboards will contain. Everybody get that? And you need to submit them. And without that, you're kind of you're swimming around without a map. It really is what's happening, and you don't really want to do that. So here's your field guide interactive storyboard instructions, which basically says, I don't care if you sketch, or I don't care if you use your digital pages. What I want you to do is create a page where you've got little thumbnails that are small, and put as many pages as you can, and tell us what's happening and what works and how things are going to behave and so forth, just like I said. Everybody get that? All right. And you are graded on this. Let's look at the rubric of how you're graded. Now, do you understand? This is going to be critical for you. Your field guide, you've already seen this. Your field guide needs to include all of these components. It needs to include cover design. It needs to include a table of contents, meaning this is what you're going to see. Annie has it in hers with, here's all the palm trees we're going to talk about. Or, what's your topic again, Alex?
Mine?
Yeah.
Surf breaks in Santa Barbara, I guess.
Okay. So please don't answer your phone.
I was just
Just
turning it
just
off.
leave it. Just leave it. It's fine. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so you will have basically a list of what's contained inside the field guide, right? Okay, that'd be great. And then you have interactivity elements which are listed here, which are part of your grade. You don't have it, so let's say, I'm not counting, but let's say there's 10% here. We can look at the rubric for grading, but there's going to be a percentage of your grade allocated to the fact that you included each of those things. You don't include a video. I think what happened, somebody didn't include a video and they lost 10 points out of 100. And if we only have these two really big projects, the restaurant and your field guide, losing that is a big hit. So you really want to aim for 100%. Okay?
So I'm sorry, now looking at those, I got a little confused on storyboard. When we create the storyboard, is that just, I know how to do storyboards, but now I don't know, for some reason I'm confused because it seems like we're doing it backwards.
We are a little bit.
Okay, so you start just at the beginning of what your field guide looks like and you move through it?
Yeah, storyboards are generally, this scene goes to this scene, goes to this scene. So let me do this on the board here with some lights for a second. And this I really do recommend, and I probably, if I were you, hopefully we'll be able to see this. If I were you, I would start with this. There's no way I could not start with this. It's like making a dummy, a paper dummy of some artwork that I'm going to print. So if your subject is surf spots, you're going to have your cover page. That knocks off one of those, right? Cover. Then you're going to go to a page that says how you're going to organize it. And maybe you're doing it by location. So here's your locations. Okay? And here you're going to write a note of, this is just a swipe page with an image sequence that's automatic, right? You just want to get us all sucked into this thing, and so that's your note. You swipe it, that's how you move from the page, and it's an auto image sequence. Then you say, okay, here's my table of contents page, basically. It doesn't have to be called that, it doesn't have to have page numbers. Basically, this includes buttons for each site, right? And these are buttons, right? And then here you're going to have a big, beautiful picture here showing me some cool surf thing. And it might not be at a specific location. It might just be somebody's feet on a board or a curl or something, right? because you don't want that to be specific to any location, because we're not at that location yet, right? You liking this, Alex? Is this helpful?
Yeah.
Okay, then, now we go from here. So now we basically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that come off of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because if you hit A, you go to A and B and C, right? You follow that?
So this is going through the interactivity.
This is really addressing, what do your master pages look like?
Yeah.
Master page, master page. I assume that this here, these, are basically going to have one master page. So I don't have enough board space here, but basically this A, B, C, D here, A, B, C, D, all of these shooting out of here, is if I press A, I might have a page that looks like this. It may still have A, B, C, D, E buttons still, may still. But this one goes black because I'm on that page. Did you even do that on your thing?
What?
You had like an arrow, like you're here. Someone of you did that on your dummies. Was it you, Annie, who did that?
Yeah, I have an arrow.
You had an arrow, okay. So this one, so let's say we click page A, which is really what I'm referring to here, and here applies A, B, C, D, they're all gonna be the same. So this one maybe goes black or purple or whatever, sings, I don't know. And then you've got that site. So this is in Ventura, the Rincon. So you might have a cool title. Now that goes black and we are now on the Rincon page. And now we have Rincon stuff. And now we might have down here a pull tab for each detail thing. Like we might have a pull tab that says, how did you break yours up?
I did one that was like best conditions,
Okay.
like swell charts, board preferred.
Okay, so these may be pull tabs, these may be buttons. Let's make these buttons just for the heck of it, because I don't want to deal with pull tabs for a second. And what they may be is, then this is button 1, 2, 3, 4. And what's going to happen is, this page is page A, B, C, or D. They're all the same. One says Rincon, B says Surfers Point, help me. Ledbetter's, whatever, I don't know. I don't surf. And then what happens is they're all the same, right? We know when we land on a surf site, we get that master page. Then, if we hit the button here for surf conditions, we may have maybe page 1, 2, 3, and 4 all looks the same like this, which is a big surf conditions report, right? And you might have a chart. I don't know. You get that? And it doesn't matter. If I click on 1, it's going to be surf conditions Rincon. If I click on 2, it's going to be surf conditions this one. You get that? All right. So now you can see it's really an outline. And with each of these, so next to this one, you say you have a button to the site, and you have buttons for conditions, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Buttons for conditions, buttons for crowds, buttons for whatever, I don't know. And then you come to this one, and you might just have, you might keep this here, so I can always go back to this home page here or here. I hate having to back out of something, like back your car out of a dead end. Don't ever give me a dead end. It's the most annoying thing in interactive stuff where you give a dead end. So always have a way to get back to here, the beginning home page, or here, or here. Always let us know how we get back to where we need to go. If you have no buttons here and I have to just back into there, you've made me repeat myself, which I find annoying. If I want to repeat myself, fine, I'll swipe back to it. We'll automatically be able to swipe back to it. But don't put me in a dead end. It's frustrating. And then what you might have is one of these one of these might be video of the surf spots, which takes us to a page of video. And so then you say that goes to the video. That's basic. Is this clearer now without me beating this up? Okay, so that is what your storyboard. We're calling it a storyboard. It is sequential when you start to create a narrative with it, right? It's sequential when you create a narrative with it, but it's not a storyboard like in movies from scene to scene to scene. But it really is how you have to think about it. If I go here, where do I go? And you have to draw that map for yourself, and you have to create a narrative for yourself. And you also have to think in terms of master pages, otherwise you'll go nuts. Is there anybody who's not clear about master pages? We've done this. Okay. Think in terms of master pages, otherwise you will kill yourselves. Because you want everything to be very much exactly in the same accurate location, right? All right. So then how do you do pan and zoom? Well, it's a map, maybe you do. Or it's a close-up image of a boba. Is that what they're called? Boba? Okay. Or it's, how do you zoom at the bottom of the glass of the boba, right? Or you need to have a hyperlink to a web page. It might just be a hyperlink back to your own web page or to the Tide reports, right? It might be on the video page. Like you might have a picture of the tide coming in and out, and you want a little note that says, more information on tides. Click here. That's the snap, right? Hyperlinks. Image slideshow, rotating images, Scrollable frames. This morning I practiced a scrollable frame in a scrollable frame, which works. It's uber cool. Who knew?
Do you have any examples from last semester?
I do have examples. And I'm looking for my purse
Oh, it's right there.
and my iPad. Didn't you see them when I passed them around? Last examples?
Okay.
On the iPad?
I kind of. No,
Okay.
I don't have it.
But I'll pull it up. You can play with
Yeah,
it today.
okay.
Audio, music. We practiced doing music the other day with the Clip Clop horses, right? All of your computers now should have Adobe Content Viewer because I checked. I haven't checked this one yet. And video.
I got a question about Adobe Content Viewer. Because I have my iPad and I'm trying to use it. Or,
You have an iPad.
yeah,
Okay.
I just bought it.
Oh,
And
how nice.
yeah, I needed it.
Good.
And I'm just trying to make it work. I don't know, but I went through it, but it doesn't let me to work on it. And I went to the internet and many comments about it.
Okay. That's a really excellent question. Okay. Let me give you a short answer for the moment. Okay. All the videos.
Oh, one more thing,
Yeah.
because when I write down my Adobe ID, doesn't want it, so that's the problem. It says so. When I type my Adobe ID to start working on the Adobe Viewer, just doesn't take it.
Your Adobe ID is not working.
It's not working with my iPad.
Okay. It will. It should. Yeah, John, you want to add to that?
We do have Content Viewer on these machines.
Yeah, good. Thanks. Yeah, Alex was working with it earlier. Okay, so you have Adobe Creative Cloud. You're paying for it.
I just download it and I.
Okay, hang
start
on.
working with it.
You have Adobe, you pay for Adobe Creative Cloud, the software, InDesign, Photoshop,
Yeah,
on your computer.
but it's not.
It's on your computer.
Yeah, it's in my computer.
Okay, good. You're good. Okay, so you have an Adobe ID for sure. You can call Adobe and ask for help, and it would be free because you keep paying for support.
But even though when I'm not paying right now, because my programs are already on.
Oh, so you're not using Creative Cloud, you have 6. You have Adobe.
Not for right now, not right now. I'm not using it for these programs right now.
Okay, well, don't worry about it. You must have an Adobe ID.
I believe so, I have it.
Okay. And you can ask Adobe for support,
It's
or
not
you
the-
can
it's not
reset.
the Adobe ID is not the same we use for Adobe Color now.
Well, in theory,
I think
yes.
that I'm using the same password.
In theory, yes. I somehow have too many IDs for Adobe.
Yeah,
I have too many emails and I have too many IDs, personally. Do you too? Yeah? Okay. So it gets us into trouble because we forget which one we need for what. But I will demo for you.
Can I turn it off?
Please turn it on. Yes. I was on a roll and I knew if you did this, I was going to get distracted and forget what I was saying. Okay. When you are when you have your iPad, you download this app called Adobe Content Viewer. It's free. Everybody can download it. You sign into it through your Adobe ID, and you're not having success. So you need to call Adobe because you're using the wrong password or email or something. There's nothing wrong with what you did. You just have the wrong password or email, I'm sure. Okay? It's just that simple. Because an Adobe ID is free. That's all there is to it. And once you sign in, and then how you work on interactivity is, we'll get into this, we'll demo this later, because right now most of you don't have the iPads, but when we're in InDesign, and let me,
I thought I would like to add this very quickly.
Yeah.
When speaking with Lynda.com, I was told very forthrightly that it does not work well on an iPad and to only use a desktop.
okay, that's what
I
they said
just
at
like-
Lynda.
Throw it in for you.
Not my experience. I actually have a lot of frustration with it on the desktop and love it on the iPad. So I have a different experience of it. But when we're in InDesign, you have to upload to Adobe Content Viewer in order to view it on an iPad. Otherwise, you're going to be practicing viewing it on the desktop. And obviously, you can't take your finger on a desktop monitor and move your pan and zoom around like this and do that thing with sizing. Okay? I can try with you if you bring your iPad in, but I would mostly just call Adobe.
They're awful to call. They have an online chat too.
That's probably better.
Yeah, because then you can walk away while you're waiting.
Yeah.
And on the phone they'll have you on
Yeah.
on the phone for an hour.
Okay, so any questions about the categories for the field guide? Any questions of what you should be doing for your storyboards? Yeah.
Wait, you said we could draw our storyboards?
Yes.
Okay.
Draw 'em. If they're digital, like you've already got digital, you could combine them.
Okay.
Like you've already made progress with your digital, plunk those in, then say, from here I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Okay? You're graded on your storyboards.
And this is on our syllabus, correct?
It is in Moodle. It is in Moodle.
Yes.
Yes, it is in Moodle, for sure. Yes,
So you're saying we can sketch these out?
absolutely.
Like our thumbnails, but like kind of more detailed?
Yeah. Absolutely. They're a guide for you. They're to support you. They are support for you. Here's the rubric of how they're graded. Here's how you're graded for your storyboards, okay? Right here. You could just read through them. This should be pretty thorough. This should really be pretty thorough. And if you want to revise it, okay? Revise as you go. But don't skip this step. Yeah.
Do you want us to have like, do you want us to do like, I guess like one section though, but all the sections for that? Like you were just doing over there, similar?
Well, it's kind of like this. It's like,
Like I don't have to do it for all of them, but kind of.
right,
the
if
layout
this
would be-
window is going to be the same if I click A, B, C, D,
Okay,
E, and the image changes and the title changes, that's all you got to say.
Okay, cool.
Don't make it, it's not to break your back, it's to
Yeah.
make sure that you're clear. And say this is a master page. It's going to be identical. The image will change, the title will change, that's it. And that's really what it should be. That's why if you've thought it through, you'll be less overwhelmed because you'll see how many pages are the same and where you need to put images. It'll also help you accumulate the right number of images for yourself. Okay? Good? Kev? Good? No questions? No. Okay. Questions? No? Okay. Miss Sarah? Questions? Okay. All right. So that being said, we've talked about storyboards. I want to make sure that everybody's on the ball with that. Make sure I didn't lose Moodle back here. And then, that being said, we will demo these after we talk about everybody's refs. So what I'd like to do, who wants to come first with their refs? Anybody?
I can. I
You can.
feel like I'm so not far along though.
That's okay. We'll have you come up. Hang on one sec. I just want to address one more thing, which was hopefully helping Laura and all of you. When you've created an article, right? You will add your article in Folio Builder. When you add something in Folio Builder, you'll have to have an account. And you'll add it here. So right here, create a new folio. You can your iPad field guide can be one folio, or it could be many articles into one folio. And then once you've got a folio, let's see what this says. I haven't done this for a really long time, so I'm really not very prepared to show you, but let's see what it does. Here, landscape layout.
Vicky, what if, because my boyfriend and I, we have Adobe AD. What if I'm using this Adobe AD
It's okay.
with my program, same program,
Yeah,
and I'm using different Adobe AD with my iPad?
it's possible.
It can work together or
No,
not?
you got to
Because
stick
I
to
have
one
this
ID.
question since
You know-
I've been learning how to use the Foley and how to upload to iPad all your work, and I'm just wondering what happens if I'm using different Adobe ADs for each. Because my work I'm supposed to upload with my Adobe AD. But it seems, what if I'm using for my iPad? I want to check on my iPad my work. So has to match the same Adobe AD or not? Or
Yes. So
I'm making it confused.
I know I'm a little confused, but what I heard from you is your boyfriend's got an Adobe ID.
Yeah.
You have an Adobe ID. You guys are sharing software. You're not sure whose software you're using at the time because you're sharing Adobe software. It doesn't even matter. For your iPad, you could log in under his ID. Also, it doesn't matter. They don't know who you're logging. They don't know whose iPad it is. They don't know if it's your boyfriend's or yours. Doesn't matter. You're just going to try to you're just going to want to be able to manage your account. So if you guys share ID and you upload to his, that's fine. You give it to me and that's what we'll have, right? So the way I see, let's see if my ID works. So let me tell you what I did, so maybe you'll follow me. So the point is it doesn't matter. Just get it there, right? However it gets there, it's okay. When you create a publication, you're going to have to upload it you're going to add it down here. You're going to add a new folio. Click the little add button. And we'll go over it more specifically. You don't really have to worry about it yet. I don't want you guys to drown in it. I just want to remove a little bit of the mystery of how this occurs. Has anybody done this yet? Anything I'm describing? No? Okay. I'm zooming through it because we're going to demo it. It's also in all the lynda.com stuff, how to do it. But you're going to work in Folio overlays in order to do cool stuff for interactivity, hyperlink, slideshow, image sequence, audio, video, etc. Okay? All right. Yeah.
Are we supposed to buy a new series of the lynda.com? Because I already knew how to do those, so I did them, but I couldn't find that video on there. Underneath my
There's videos on YouTube.
Yeah, they have
There's a
YouTube
lot of
accounts,
videos
yeah.
on YouTube.
There is new lynda.com courses if you want to buy it. it's going to cost you an extra $20 till the end of the semester. If you don't want to buy it, the truth is there are so many tutorials out there for you.
Oh, okay, because I was looking on the exercises, find this video in Linda for this guy, whatever, and it wasn't under my courses, so
Yeah, it's under the
I
new
just
set of courses.
got confused. Okay.
Or one of them might have been an old one that disappeared, yes.
Adobe has a ton of stuff.
Yeah, there's a ton.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll have a problem finding it. I was just
You'll
wondering.
be, well, that's why we can also do it in class. But you can because it gives you all access to all of the lynda.com Adobe Digital Publishing Suite support, all of it.
Okay.
Even stuff you don't want to know. Because it's the really sophisticated, you're going to buy and subscribe and pay and blah, blah, blah for your new iPad publication. That level of sophistication is really beyond us.
Okay.
So you can pick and choose.
Okay.
And there's lots of video instructions out there. So folio or overlay is how you're going to be building all this. Preview here is how you're going to view it on your desktop. Folio Builder is what you use to where you upload your completed document. And then you launch something called Folio Producer, which is this, which I already launched, which I have to sign into using my Adobe ID. Could be your boyfriend's, but just stay with the program, right? Just decide who you're using and what you're doing and stay consistent with it. Otherwise, you won't be able to find anything. Let's see if this works. I hope to goodness it does. And I have so many passwords. Let's see. I'm either kicked out or it's good. I don't know which it is. Oh, look at that. All right. So now I opened that Folio Producer app after being in InDesign. Everybody follow that? It was me just logging in. It opened the website. I have Folio Producer, and what it should show me is last semester's publications that were uploaded. And these are all my students' publications. They all uploaded their field guide to their Folio Producer, okay, using their Adobe ID. And I said, when you guys are all done with this, we'll finish up, okay? And when they uploaded it, after they were all done, they clicked here and somewhere, I'm not prepared for this, but let's see, share. They clicked share folio and they clicked on it and it said, who do you want to share it with? And they sent me an email and it allowed me to see their publication, their folio. Everybody get that? Mm-hmm. And when I was able to share it, it popped into my Folio Producer. So when I open Adobe Content Viewer, when I open the app on my iPad, that's how I was able to see all the students' work. Because once they shared it, once I grabbed it, once it went to Folio Producer, it showed up right here on my iPad in Adobe Content Viewer, right? So I hope it demystifies it for you. It's not very complicated. I will go backwards a little bit for you to here, which, oh, I shouldn't have done that, should I? There we go. Down here at the bottom of our class, you're going to live by this. I do. Creating a upload field guide for iPad. Let's see. Creating a folio for upload. You got to read this like it's the Bible. Okay? Not that I'm religious. But you got to read this because this will walk you step by step for everything you need to do correctly to make sure you've got all the stuff going in the right direction for Folio Producer. It walks you through it, holds your hand. Okay? And that's down, that's the very, very end when we're ready to all share together our folios. A folio is the name of your publication. Folio.
An article is each page.
An article, yeah, but you don't need to make articles. You can make one complete folio.
Okay.
You don't have to break it out.
Okay.
Okay? So it might be simpler. You might not want to get too tangled up that way. You decide how you want to work. So all your interactivity is in one file for you. Maybe that helps. Okay, does that demystify it a little bit for you? Laura, do you want to look at this? Is that what you want? Not now? Not, okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I don't want to get into our interactivity. I think it's more important that we all critique our stuff, right? All right. So Chelsea, you said you'd come up, right? So this is you. Yeah. Thanks. Okay. We'll turn off the lights so we can all look at it and give you some support.
Okay.
So talk us through it.
So I guess to start, the interactivity was overwhelming me. So I just tried to lay everything out so then I could start adding or decide how I want to do the interactivity. So all these details, that's going to change, I think. Those were just like things about the bourbon that was used in this cocktail. And I think I'll probably end up using pull tabs and like just more fun ways to build in the interactivity. And the bottles.
What page are we looking at?
This is an inside page, sorry. So
So
it's not the cover. It's
not
like
the
one of
cover.
the inside pages on one of the drinks.
On one of the drinks
Yeah.
or one of the restaurants? I forget if it's the restaurant or the drink that matters.
The drink.
Okay.
But I figured I would add like a little bit of details about the restaurant just to kind of give an ambiance feel, like what you're walking into when you go there. I'm playing with these as buttons. I don't know how many buttons I need yet. And I want to somehow change the labels so you actually know what the button is. This was fun, making this Polaroid. That was like something new that I wanted to try just to give it like an aged feel. So I took the photo and then I basically worked in Photoshop to design it this way, and then I hand wrote the name of the cocktail in Photoshop. And then below it is what's inside the drink, including the garnish. So yeah, and then this is the whiskey that's actually in this cocktail. So I feel like I'm behind, and this is a confusing project for me. So, but I'm doing pretty good on getting all my facts and all the things I need to put it together. It's just putting it together that is like kind of catching me.
So who's got some feedback for Chelsea?
Yes.
If you're gonna use the bottles as buttons, like that's your intent, you might want to get rid of the one bottle above the details. That kind of is a confusing element for me. Before you see they're all buttons, I'm like, why are you decorating the side of the page with bottles? Then you explained it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I have to make them look like buttons. I just haven't gotten that far yet, but maybe I wanted to like showcase this is the whiskey, so maybe I can make it a pull tab where you pull up and it
Yeah,
shows
or
that
you could,
bottle
like,
or something.
On the picture, you have the Polaroid, and it
Yeah.
will show you that bottle.
Oh, that's a good idea too,
So
yeah.
it could appear and then disappear without cluttering up the page.
Yeah.
From the information you want to give about the drink.
Yeah, thanks, that's good.
Who else has got feedback?
I really like the Polaroid picture. That adds like a fun, just something fun to the whole.
Makes it feel like you're present,
Thank you.
Yeah.
right?
You have like a bar with like all the old pictures, just like.
That's what I was
Yeah.
going for, yeah.
That's really cool.
With the texture behind it, it has a really nice feel. I really
Yeah, I was trying to go for like I don't know, cause like whiskey's made in barrels, and a lot of these restaurants and bars that I'm choosing have wood on the inside, and so I was trying to bring that to the design.
Any other thoughts? Okay, I got thoughts for you.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn on the lights for a sec. Let me use my iPad to take a picture of the board before I wipe it off. I don't use my iPad a lot. It's mostly because my boyfriend steals it. Because he uses them a lot. Oops.
I still am trying to figure out what people use them for. I know they use it for music and stuff, but
He reads on it all the
Games.
time.
oh yeah, reading. Yeah. To me, it's like an extra expense.
Well, it is an extra expense, no kidding. There's no question about that. So here's my thoughts for you. I do have a lot of suggestions. And I'm gonna give you real straight critique with it, okay?
Okay.
In Vicky style.
No, that's what I want. I mean,
know.
I have other, layouts. I just like the
Okay.
interactivity just totally catches me up.
Yeah, well, just let go of it,
Okay.
all right? So stop worrying about that.
Okay.
First, what I want you to do, so this is a publication class, publication. So publications are about communicating information in a clear and engaging way. Books, we love to read.
Mhm.
Do you love to read books?
Yeah.
Okay. I love to read books, and I used to as a kid, still do. Used to get these big art books, put them on the floor, lay on my stomach, and flip the pages and pore over the pages. And it's because the pages sucked me in. They drew me in. It's like, and what you're really creating here is not something that is incredibly text heavy. And if it is text heavy, you don't want to show the text. You want it to be scrollable text, so we don't get overwhelmed with the amount of text.
Right.
And that's the advantage of the interactivity. So I look at your page here, and I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You've got 3 or 4 different fonts going on.
Oh, there's just 2.
Okay, let's do it again. You got 1, and then the italic, and then you got Finch and Fork.
That's the same one as the lower font. There's only 2 fonts.
Okay, but they're different colors and they're different
Oh.
sizes, and it's just too much for me.
Okay.
Okay, too much for me. So I want you to, and that one, they have either one. I want you to like call me, so I don't need a drink. So what I'm thinking is, one of the things that Annie said is she loves your Polaroid. And we all think it makes us feel present and the fun things that go on in a bar, here, take a photo, have fun, right? Okay. Because maybe those Polaroids then become a rotating, on a different page, become a rotating scene of the scene, the people, the buzz, the energy, I don't know, for fun, gigs, who knows. But what I really am looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, your layout's great, it's fine. Okay, here's your Polaroid. And then I'm thinking you're naming the drink, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at this dark wood that you're turning into something ghosty for me.
Mhm.
And what I really want when I look at whiskey, here's your whiskey, right?
Yeah.
I really want something deep and rich and like
Gritty?
yeah.
Gritty?
Yeah, gritty or rich or dark or something. When I think of deeper colors, I think of like the wood. I feel a warmth to it, which is what whiskey does. It just burns your throat, right? And so what I really want you to do is get rid of that opacity business. You've got the white outline for your photo. The Figueroa drink can be reversed, and your wood could be super dark.
Okay.
And
I was
that's
scared
it.
of doing that.
Yeah, and do that. And
Okay.
then say, what are we talking about here? Well, what we're talking about here is we're talking about the restaurant, which is the Finch and the Fork, right? And then we're talking about here are buttons of our different drinks, right? Whether they're bottles or whatever you decide they are.
Mhm.
And maybe they're a square, so each bottle is consistent size and they don't bounce around.
Yeah, I thought about doing something like that.
Because, I really like your idea of being silhouetted, but I feel like they might be bouncing around for me.
Okay.
So maybe they're just the close-up part of the labels
Okay.
and not the whole bottle. And then you have the opportunity somewhere when we get to the page, maybe behind the Figueroa, the bottle sits here or something. Like that's your bottle. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know where the bottle was.
Right.
And then here, you've got all this information of what's in it. And I'm overwhelmed by the buzz.
Yeah, I know. I need to.
I'm
remove it.
overwhelmed by the buzz. And so even if you reversed it on the dark wood background, I'd still have all these grains of wood going on, and I'd have the drink, and I'm still overwhelmed. So what I want you to do is have, and maybe these only go to here. So I don't know, maybe And maybe what you have is a pull tab that says, with a little swizzle stick sticking out of it, stealing Jake's idea of the toothpick. Maybe this is, you call it drink up, or what's in it, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So here's your, let's call it recipe for lack of a better description. And this is a pull tab.
Okay.
And the pull tab could even just come to here, and it could be a pull tab, I learned, that has scrollable text in it. So even if we run out of space, or it could be a pull tab that comes all the way up to here and is black with a overprint, so you can see the wood grain through it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's a dark on dark.
Mhm.
So you can still see the wood grain. And your text is reversed, or it could be tan and totally blacks out the background, or it's tan with a 10% opacity so a hint shows through, but you've still got this beautiful dark drama going on here,
Mhm.
and your recipe's in there, and then we can put it out of the way. And then, let's see. Oh, so this is the recipe, and this is the good stuff kind of thing. This is the highlight of it.
That's a recipe. These are just like details on the actual whiskey that's used, and like just details on the drink, like it's served on, like what the taste is.
Oh, okay.
how
So it's a
simple it
description.
is. Yeah, those
Okay.
are just like the comparisons.
So then maybe you have one, one big pull tab that comes up, one big one here.
Yeah.
One big
And I
pull
can
tab.
do like 2 columns in that if I wanted that.
Yeah, you can. Plus, you can also do this. You can have a skinny sidebar here. That's the insides
Yeah,
and
that's the recipe. That's the recipe.
the recipe.
Uh-huh.
And you could do another one that shows up that's a scrolling one that has all of your details.
Okay.
So when it pulls down, I've still got the beautiful rich floor, or I've got the bottle of the thing huge, or something like that. Because now you've got all these little things, and I don't know where to go. You gotta think of this as just, iPads are beautiful, and they're beautiful for their gorgeous image area.
Yeah.
So start by thinking, what's the beautiful picture? What's like the primo shot?
Mhm.
What's going to be this beautiful layout that's going to draw people in? And then how do I add the details in an interactive way?
That's why I was like, okay, I'm putting this on here, but I know it needs to be different.
Does that help you?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I wanted the critique, because I was so
Right.
lost on
Right.
it.
Right. And and you might have on your table of contents page essentially a full page of full images of these bottles just rotating through. That's your opportunity to tell us what's in here. This whiskey,
I was
this
going
whiskey,
to do
this
something
whiskey.
like that on that. Well, I was actually going to take all the Polaroids
Yeah.
of each drink and put them on the just the opening page.
Yeah.
Like the entry,
Right.
like have them kind of slip through by themselves.
Well, you've got like I've thought of all the elements and stuff like that. And so once you start doing the mapping,
Yeah.
just start creating some master pages and don't worry about getting the content in there. Think about what the content's going to be and let the content slide.
Yeah, that storyboard's gonna help a lot, I think, for me.
Okay. More? Anybody? Okay. Beautiful.
Thank
Great.
you.
Great job. Great. Let's go next.
I'll go.
Okay. So it's you have your 2. You want to show us your 2?
Yeah. I can just. Okay. I'll start with the first ones. Barely remember these ones because I did them before break. But
Yeah, but you got to the Biltmore before break, which was
yeah.
which is new. Which is new. Okay.
All right. So this is supposed to be start page, I guess. I didn't really put much effort into this. I don't know, I worked more on the insides, and then I thought I should just make a rough of the front, so
Uh-huh.
didn't really pay attention to this one. Here's one example of my inside, I have 3 different ones. And this is one where this is pull-out tabs about like this description about where it's from, how much sunshine they need, and how much they grow and stuff. The abouts.
Wait, what are the other two?
The scientific name and how tall they get, or well, the height of them.
Okay.
And these are just like buttons that take you wherever you need to go.
So start means your homepage?
Yeah.
Usually the homepage, and what's the icon in the upper left corner?
That's just like illustration of the palm tree.
Okay,
Doesn't have anything to do with
okay.
interactivity. And then I just put this one about down
Uh-huh.
here so that I could write some description if I need.
And it's a
or
pull-up
want.
tab?
Yeah. You
Uh-huh.
pull up and then this is supposed to be a slideshow.
Okay.
That's why I have arrows.
Uh-huh.
And let's see the other one.
It's a different layout,
Yeah.
is what you're showing us.
It's kind of the same, but just with
Different
different
graphics.
background, and I'm showing the pictures down here for this
Uh-huh.
slideshow.
Which is nice.
And I might as well show these ones too. This is also like the table of contents, basically. So
Uh-huh,
it's a
yeah.
start page, and then you come here. If you click on it, then it shows up better, the name and all that.
Uh-huh.
And this is the inside that I worked on yesterday. I
A
liked
different
better.
layout.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna have the text. It was just I put something in because it was really just empty
Yeah.
with white space.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to put there yet.
Well, maybe you fill that space up. This is kind of what we were talking about with you, Chelsea.
Mhm.
Maybe you fill that space up with one really large photo, and then there's an about that pulls out and covers part
Yeah.
of the really large photo. I mean, this is our opportunity to put in beautiful photos and fill up the space.
Yeah.
Where you can't do that on a web page, or not as easily anyway, or it's not the intention. And what you like this best, right?
I think I like this one best. I'm not sure why. I think it's just a
Cleaner.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's just cleaner, and I like the colors and that it's not too much color, but still color. I'm thinking about maybe doing like a big illustration on like the side of it. One of the sides just like pops up. That's like a master page that goes through all of them. That might just, I don't know, that might mess it up.
You don't until you do it.
Yeah.
So comments for Annie? Kevin, you got some comments?
Say Kevin.
I did.
I like the first one originally.
Go back to the one you like. So critique them. Let's put them side by
That one looks
side.
more like a website right there. And then I like the open app. I like the open app, not a website. You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
Uh-oh, the spinning wheel of death.
oops. You meant
No, that's yeah, the green one.
this
That
one?
one.
Yeah.
So talk about the differences in what feels stronger of one compared to the other.
Well, that I'm comparing the. Oh, so there. That's 1 and 2. You made 2.
She
I'm
made
getting-
3.
I'm getting 2 and 3 confused. King Kong. Yeah.
Is that the one you like best?
No, I like the first one better than that one.
This one?
Definitely, yeah.
Oh, that one. Okay. And talk about why one feels different than the other and what's stronger about it.
I'm confused with the buttons on the third one.
So the one on the far right? you
Yeah,
mean?
it's not very.
That one, you mean?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it's just kind of I like the vibrant colors more.
In number, that one.
Yeah.
And what about comparing the two that are side by side now?
I'd say the one on the right just looks more like a website.
Mhm.
So if you collaborated, made a website and an app, there you go, you're done.
I actually find them very similar feeling.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
You do too?
Yeah.
I feel them very similar and clean. What I would recommend for the one on the left is you don't need all that white space surrounding the photo. Just fill it up with photo,
Mhm.
right? Fill it up with photo.
Oh, which
Even
one?
if the left side, both
Okay.
of them, actually, both of them.
Yeah.
Fill it up with photo. Just know that your photos are going to be what makes this beautiful.
Mhm.
And that's what I think anyway. I actually find these both similar, so I think it depends on how you want your navigation and use your space and so forth. I think they're both really strong.
Yeah.
They look like you've given us just different options, really, of
That
similar.
one is way more green on the screen. It's like green background too.
Yeah,
You can't really see.
yeah, really different color greens than on the monitor too. Who else has got comments? Liam, what do you think? Any suggestions? Constructive comments?
Not really. I mean, I prefer the one on the right,
Ah, there you go.
but that's about all I really can.
I like the symbols on the tabs.
Yeah, symbols are really nice to have.
I like the font choice.
Something I've learned from
Wait,
your.
Hang on one second.
Oh.
Which font choice?
On the right, the California fan font, I think that just suits the style.
It's more of a Biltmore style, actually. It's more old
Yeah.
California style.
Yeah. I like that one better too.
Yeah. Yes, Chelsea.
I agree with the font, but out of those two, I like the one on the left, and I really liked how you on the King Palm page, you had put those circles below, like showing the photos.
Mhm.
I think that was a good addition because then you can kind of see what's coming, and then
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I don't know about the arrows.
If you go to the King Palm page, it's a good comment. Remember when we did the the multi-state object about the T-shirts,
And you just click the button.
and you clicked the button?
Yeah.
So you could get rid of your arrows and you'd click the buttons. It's most people who use anything now know to touch the dots to get to the next page,
Mhm.
which is a really good communication. I like having the little image inside it too. It's nice. Carol, did you have a comment also?
I noticed it with this project and with the other several others. I think for this project, I wish I thought of it before. It works much better to have a limited number of things you're comparing and then do each one in detail
Mhm.
instead of 20 kinds of palm trees or something. You have,
Mhm.
you know, a fair variety, but I think it worked
Yeah.
really well.
I would try. Can you go back to your second one? Yeah. I'm not sure why you have that icon in the upper left. It doesn't add anything.
It was just really empty, and I
And
just added.
What I
something.
would consider, if that appeals to you, is the Biltmore logo.
Mhm.
Because you're doing palm trees of the Biltmore.
Yeah.
So there's no reason not to brand it for the Biltmore,
Mhm.
right? Just something to think about.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
You might also consider, what I was going to say is you might also consider organic shapes to your buttons instead of them being just the rounded thing.
Mhm.
But I don't know that I'm right.
What kind of?
I don't know. I was just thinking of things that were more flowy, like
Mhm.
fronds are flowy.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get there because it feels very orderly. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel palm tree-y. It feels like it could be anything. It could
Mhm.
be you could be selling skateboards or
Maybe I can
pens.
make
or-
it like a palm tree, like that's the trunk, and then I
Actually, I think maybe what
Oh.
what might work. You might try this. I don't know. You might try a curve to your top shape, like something fluid,
Mhm.
like a frond would be fluid. And then not necessarily have your buttons be shaped like a square, but they could just be a word. And you touch on the word and it's a button, or have a dot next to it,
Mhm.
like it's a button, like the dots on the photos you had or something like that. Actually, you could do that. You could make those buttons at the top, maybe. All I'm thinking is that palm trees are fluid, and this is very linear and
Yeah.
contained, and I might explore that.
Mhm.
So, like, get rid of the gray box, put a little circle next to it of, like you had on page 3 there, a dot, and you press on it, and that would be your button instead of it being in a box. And then
Mhm.
maybe
Without names or
no, with the names.
okay.
The names beside
Yeah.
it would just type,
Mhm.
just not in a box.
Yeah.
And then, and then maybe something less angular about the top, which feels more fluid and more organic. That's kind of where I go. And I try it. Just do it on one page and just see if you even like it.
Yeah.
Just a thought. Any other thoughts? No. You look like you're very far along with what's going in it, what your content is, the elements. You're thinking in terms of navigation. I really compliment you on that. I know your homepage is just here. Let me stick a homepage here to
Mhm.
see. I know it's going to evolve. But because it's the Biltmore and it's a Biltmore garden, go on the internet, and I'm saying this, yes, on tape, go on the internet, try and find really high resolution images, professional images of the Biltmore at
Mhm.
sunset with sunset light,
Mhm.
and see, because you'll find some gorgeous ones of the site.
Yeah.
Because I think it should be an expansive image, and there must be professional ones on there that you'll be able to find. High
That I can use
resolution.
as my homepage.
Yeah, steal them. I mean, you all heard me. Just right? Yeah, I think it might serve you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Any other thoughts? No? More questions for you?
No.
No? Okay, beautiful. Anybody got more going on here? Yeah? Anybody else want to show theirs, do theirs? Yeah? Come on then.
Alright, where am I going?
Just the window behind it, you'll see your stuff.
Oh, there we go. Okay, can you guys see that?
Yep.
I'm doing surf breaks in Santa Barbara, and this.
Is this your photo?
No, it's not. It's not my
Don't you
photo.
wish?
Yeah, I wish. I'm still waiting for. I have a bunch of photos of. This is actually Rincon. I have a bunch of photos, but I have to dig them up. But I just like this one. I found this one online. I want to get something like it because it has kind of like the freeway, so you're kind of traveling up the coast. This is probably one of the best breaks in California, and I just like the coloring of it, so that's why I chose to use it. But yeah, this is kind of like the, I guess, main page or like the title page.
Yep.
And I still don't know how I'm gonna put, I guess, like buttons to transfer to the next one.
People will probably just know to swipe.
Just know to swipe.
Or you could just have a little arrow at the bottom right that
Yeah.
points, and people would know to swipe.
Okay. This is my navigation page.
Yes.
Looking back on it, I don't know if I want to use that picture.
Okay.
And then I want to scratch that welcome. I don't really like that anymore.
All right.
But I want to have some information on just Santa Barbara on the left here, and then these are the 10 breaks that I chose to show in my guide. And now looking at it, maybe I should center that more.
That's okay. Keep going and let's see what follows it.
Okay.
Now, go back a sec. Are these the right size pages for iPad?
Yeah.
Okay. Why does
They
it
should
look
be.
narrow to me? Does it look taller to people?
Yeah.
It does?
Yeah.
That the first page
The
doesn't.
first page doesn't. Oh, you're right.
But the rest of them do.
Does that one look?
Yeah.
I actually
Check
don't
your
know.
pages.
I will.
Okay. Keep going.
Okay.
So here's your what you call your title, your table of contents.
Yeah.
Okay, so we click on that, and what happens when I click on Campus Point?
It would pull up to this page, And
Okay, it takes us to this page.
yes, and then I originally, for each break, I want to have a page that looks like this dedicated to each spot.
Got it.
So this is Campus Point. I have a map, and then that's where I want to do the pan zoom on the map.
And what's the best conditions thing here?
Oh, okay. So this is what I need kind of help on. This is the information like board choice, hazards, elements, water conditions, swell charts is all going to be. These I originally designed them as buttons, but now I kind of wanted to do the pull tabs thing.
Okay.
And so I guess they're going to be coming out from the left,
All right.
and they're going to have information in each button. And then the best conditions is just that I originally wanted to do that as a button. And then, but this is what I, wanted some suggestions on, because I was originally thinking once you clicked on the best condition, there would be kind of like a separate screen that, maybe popped up
Yeah.
and kind of covered this page a little bit.
Yes.
And then it just showed, what was the best swell direction, height,
How's that
everything.
shown? In photographs? Or is it a chart?
Well, a chart. It would be a chart.
Okay.
And, but yeah, I don't know. Can you even do that? Like if
Yeah.
you clicked on that, it would kind of just
Yep.
cover it.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what I was originally thinking.
Okay.
And just this writing here is just some information about the break, and then I'm gonna do the scroll down if it can't fit all on this
Yeah.
page. Yeah, and then
Okay, stay here. How do I get back home?
I honestly haven't really thought about that.
Okay.
That was more.
And how do I
suggestion.
get to your other sites? Your other locations, surf spots?
Well, that was another question too, because I want to be able to go back to the navigation page, but I also want to have a little indicator that suggests just to either swipe to the next break or to go back.
But you're giving me a dead end. Like if I go to Campus Point and I swipe and I get to the Rincon,
Mhm.
I don't know what's next, and I don't know how to go back to Campus Point. If I'm at the end of the thing, I have to swipe through them all.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
you're frustrating me because now I'm wasting gas because I have to drive through all the other locations to get to where I want to go. So go back to your table of contents page. Okay, so you said you don't know that you want welcome, right? You're not sure that you want the photo, but this is kind of how you visualize the
Yeah.
table of contents page. Okay, that's fine. It's great. I mean, you're very far along. I mean, Alex has created things that look like buttons, so we get it. Maybe this is your table of contents page, and you can leave it big. I don't know that you need to, personally. And if you want to welcome, you could have a little pull tab on the right that comes over out here and says welcome. And you can take all these tabs and put them over here, and they
okay.
can take up this much real estate. Because look how wide this is. So take the longest one, like Campus Point, and take it over here, and that's how big your button can be. That's the biggest button. And those are super big, tight buttons also. So what I'm thinking is you make your buttons lined up on the left. You keep them there on a master page. You have your big whatever photo here. Your welcome is a pull tab that says welcome, or it's something that the moment you come on page load, it automatically rises up or something like that.
Okay.
We'll look into doing that. And then you go to your next page, and here you are at Campus Point. And maybe what we do, I don't know which side you want your buttons on. Either we move, no, just leave this, let's leave it just like that, very pretty layout. I think this is gonna be wider, personally.
Yeah, I actually
Sorry.
don't know what happened to the
I don't
size. That's
think it's the
bizarre.
right width. But so right here now, let's pretend this gray area, this is your buttons. This says Campus Point, this says Rincon, this says Hammond, this says whatever.
So you're saying
So your buttons are always
always
there.
on the page.
Because
right
now
away.
you're not gonna dead end me.
Okay. know what you're
Now I get to go from Campus Point to Rincon. And then I get to go back to Campus Point. I don't have to go through swipe,
Yeah.
swipe, swipe, swipe. The other thing is this is far more interesting to me, because I'm visual, than this. I may not want to read this, and you're using all my beautiful wave real estate. So you might want to make your image bigger,
Okay.
or you might want to make your image go all the way across and make this smaller to here with your map, right? I mean, in other words, it's like your front page, your cover. Your cover is beautiful, right? Don't you guys agree?
Yeah.
It's like this expansive, beautiful, oh my God, I gotta dive into this thing and look at it. And it's beautiful because my eyes aren't overwhelmed with what I'm looking at. It's just this breathtaking photo. And you've drawn me in. So then you go to your next page and you're losing me because there's too many things to look at. So how can you remove them and let me choose to bring them in or not, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And here you might just want buttons and no welcome, right? Or a little teeny tiny paragraph that says, hey, I've served all these sites. This is Alex Wilson, right?
Yeah.
Alex Wilson's, top surf spots. Brand it to yourself. Put a signature on there. Own it. You know it, right?
Okay.
And say, I guarantee this is going to give you the foundation you need for blah, blah, blah. You're an authority. You're making it an authority. And a tiny little paragraph, that's it. You don't need to tell me a lot.
Okay.
Because then I'm going to go to the Campus Point page, and then I'm going to read about Campus Point, and I only need a little bit of information, and it can be all scrolling information, right?
Yeah.
These could be pull-out tabs or not. I don't care. And the best conditions, if you click on it, how you do that to answer your question. So if you guys follow me for a second. If I understood Alec right, he said, my idea is you click on best conditions and a chart's going to come up just for Campus Point or for everything?
Just for Campus Point.
Okay. And does it change or it's static?
What do you mean?
Like
different
it's not
places?
new information every time it's...
No, it's the same information, but it'll be the same. Like, okay, it'll have swell direction. What's the best swell? What's the best tide?
Every month? Every
no,
year?
just in general, I guess.
Okay, in general. Okay. So this becomes a button. When you click that button, it says go to page 7. Page 7 is an identical page. It has a big map of the best conditions overtaking this page with a hint of the page behind it.
Yeah.
And it could be, and it'll have a little X in the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And then you read it, and then you click the X in the corner, which takes me back to page 3. This one. That's how you do it.
Okay.
Did everybody get that? That's not hard, right? Identical page, master page, add the new element, right? So then what's your next page? Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. It was just
See?
the next place.
And this is the perfect example of beautiful master pages. This is why you do master pages, because as he clicks through them, nothing bounces around, the color palette's the same, the font's the same, the size is the same. It's exactly what you should be doing. It's beautiful. So who's got comments? Nobody?
I like the simplicity of it. It's really clean and looks really cool. I like the front cover page. It's a really awesome picture.
The front one?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
More thoughts?
I like the sidebar. It looks really clean and really just sleek.
Sleek, yeah. You've got this really wide font. I don't know what it is, but it's beautiful. Something expanded.
Shoot.
Okay, so let's call it Helvetica Expanded, right? Or Avant-Garde Expanded or something like that.
Shoot, what was it? I can't remember.
Anyways, beautiful. And your first image was expanded. Your font is expanded. Your bars here are expanded. It creates continuity of theme, right? The other thing is you might just want here, each of these pages, when you arrive on them, I'm pointing, sorry. You might want each of these to be your image sequence that automatically rotates, right? Nobody has to click anything, so it's just a simple, clean, you get on the page and there's your images of the different sites, and there's more than one image. I don't know how hard that is for you, but it could just even be surf images. It doesn't always have to be the waves breaking, right? I mean, the compelling image, the home one, when you land on the page, might be the waves breaking, but after that, it might be a picture of the snowy clover, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And it might be a picture of, I mean, I'm reading your content here. It might be
Oh yeah. It's,
a sign that says, watch the trash, right? Because it's it's a special habitat. Or there might be a link here, you wanna know how to do a hyperlink. There might be a hyperlink in your text. I don't know if you could do that in scrolling text. I don't know if you could do that in scrolling text, but might be a hyperlink down at the bottom here that's to national parks and endangered species, right? I mean, your content says, watch out for the snowy plover, and here it might be snowy plover link takes us to an endangered species page, hyperlink.
and then how would you get out of that page? That's if you had a snowy plover page, like how would you get back to?
John's got a comment.
Oh, sorry.
That would take you out to the browser, and the person would have to close the browser.
Right.
Okay.
It would take you out. It would open a new window. You ever go to a website and it opens a new
yeah.
window for you?
Yeah. Okay.
So you wouldn't lose this window, and you specify that.
Okay.
Who had a hand, John?
I believe, though, you can have web content embedded within your
I think you're right.
publication.
I think you're right.
So you can also do it that way.
Right.
I can give you a link to a video on that.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We'd love for you to find that out.
Yeah, right.
You.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, okay. Well, I
Yeah,
guess,
because maybe it's a button that takes you to page 10, and page 10 is a live link to the endangered species page.
Mhm. all right.
So you never leave your
yeah,
setup,
you're okay.
right? And I don't know that answer. John will help you. I'll help you too. I'll look too. If you want to do that, we'll all look. That's why we bring these to class, because so you don't drown on your own. We'll help you drown.
All right.
It's so comforting.
Said it's not.
Oh, it's not comforting. Oh, Sarah. Okay, any other comments here? Nope. I think work on that storyboard, and you'll get
Yeah,
there. Just
okay.
check your page sizes.
Yeah, I will. I don't know what
Yeah.
went wrong, but you're definitely right. It does look odd.
Okay.
Kind of scrunched.
Yeah, it does.
Excuse
Well,
me.
this. Okay. Thank you.
I don't think we want you to let go of that cover photo. It's pretty spectacular.
I mean, yeah, it is. It looks nice, but I thought you weren't supposed to. You're only
You're not.
supposed to use your own photos,
You
right?
are. But try and get one just like that. Anybody else want to do it? Okay. No? No? What does that mean?
Mine's too early in the
Okay, too early. Anybody else want to do it? All right.
Show us some of the tricks for scrolling tight.
Oh, I'd be so happy to. How about all of you launch your computers? Yes.
Just quickly, that you can get the web content in your folio overlays. There's a web content folio overlay.
Really?
Yes.
You looked it up.
Well, actually, coincidentally, I happened to watch the tutorial on it today.
Did you? Web folio, web overlay.
Yeah.
Maybe you can point us to it.
Okay, it's in the folio overlays. You can use it.
Okay. Okay. Maybe you can point us to a video for it,
Okay.
please. Okay, so launch your computers, because hopefully we'll help you guys get some of these exercises done and under your belt. What's going to happen, if you guys are with me and listening, is you're going to want to do things that are cooler than what we're practicing, okay? You're going to say, oh, I wish I could do this, just like what we talked about, a web overlay in the folio
Folio
overlay panel.
Web content.
There you go. Well, let's look for it right now. So in the folio overlay panel, there's one that says web content right here.
Yeah.
Select the container frame in which the web content or HTML. Oh, so you know what? So this is how fearless you have to be, okay? Right? Look at that. All right. All right. So I'm creating a frame. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this before, okay? This is new to Creative Cloud as far as I'm concerned. So I'm creating a window. Alec, this is what we just talked about. This is what John said. And I have no instruction, and I'm just blindly doing this. So I could be totally wrong. right?
So far, so good.
Thanks, John. Okay, so we go to web content. Let me go to Firefox. Let's type snowy plover. Let's go to image. Let's go by search tools. Let's go by size. Let's go by that size. Let's pick. Okay, Alec, this is for you. Which one do you want? We like this?
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah? View image, why not, right? How sweet is that little thing, right? Save image as. Here we go, desktop. Save it. Now, I don't know if it's endangered, but let's see. Okay, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Arcata.
Lompoc beaches are closed because of that.
Yeah, I remember something about this. Okay, so now I've got a website memorized. I'm copying it in my memory, Command C. Okay, now I'm in InDesign. So here's my active box. So
I
let's
think
see what.
You placed the web content, I believe.
Let me place the snowy plover first.
There's a whole series of steps that you follow.
Thanks, John. I was just going to wing it and hope that I was going to be okay. That's not going to work, is it? Okay, and now I'm going to create another page. I don't know what I'm doing, okay?
What did you click as a shortcut to make the photo fit the frame?
Oh, I never talk about that, and I should do it as I do it. It's object fitting, and I filled the frame proportionally. So it was Command Shift Option C.
Okay.
So it takes the largest of the frame and the image and filled it up. So it went side to side to side to side.
I'll post to the Q&A the steps, or a tutorial on the steps, how to place web content.
Okay. Well, I was going to do it stupidly and see if anything happened just because. So now I've got a text box that is not the snow, that was the snowy plover. So now I'm going to make a text box on top of this. I mean, a content box on top of this. Okay? Let me turn off that. And I don't know, I just thought, and it's active, and I go to web content, and it says to put in the website, which there it is, and scale content to fit, allow access to entitlement information, I don't know, transparent background. Let's do autoplay and see if it just loads automatically. And let me just save this document. You guys know I don't know what I'm doing, right? Right? Okay, because I've never done this before. And Carol says, right. That's true. You don't know what you're doing. But what the heck? Let's see what happens. I keep waiting for the, there it is.
Oh, it has to load that content.
There it is. So let's see what happens. It should have, oh, there we go.
Boom.
Okay, you don't have to be very smart to do this, okay? So I put the snowy plover in first only because I didn't want a blank page. And now, in theory, I should be able to click on endangered species. Okay, how cool are we,
Very cool.
right? I'm a little overimpressed with this personally. What do you guys think? Cool? So there you go. So that was not hard. What do you mean there was a lot of steps?
Well, there are a lot of, I mean, there are ways you can configure it. You
Yeah.
can also put in Adobe Edge files.
Oh, we're not going there, John. I don't even know what that is. Okay, so check that out. So we never left our iPad. We never left our page. On here, we can have on our page here, I can make this page smaller. Whoops, I'm gonna do that a second. This should not be the plover. It's not, I don't think. Okay, so, oh, there we go. Okay, so let's do that. So here's all your navigation. Let me just make a big old black bar for your navigation, right? Yeah,
Is the red thing a window? Is that, what did you, what is
yeah,
it?
it's a frame.
Or is it-
It's just a
okay,
frame.
I was gonna say.
So here's your navigation, Alec, like we were talking about. So here's your little buttons in this little black stuff, right? Whatever you do. And then I put the snowy plover as our background image. And then here is our web, right? In the folio overlay, right? And now let me save the document. I just did. And now I'm going to get to preview on desktop. And now that is a smaller window for our website, right?
Yeah.
And I had told it to scale, see where it says scale content to fit? Can you guys see that where you sit? It said scale content to fit. And so what it means, it's going to make the website small. Don't do that. Preview. They keep adding and changing this stuff so fast. There we go. There we go. So your buttons to get me out of this page
Or right down the cell.
are still there.
Okay.
Your background image, still there if you want it, right?
Yeah.
Neato, right? Okay. So that's why with this stuff you really have to be fearless. The only thing I can recommend is you start to build interactivity, which you're not doing yet, most of you, is when you do something successful, every time you do one thing, test it. Save your file. Do the next thing. If it doesn't work, hit undo, save your file, save the other file under a new name, and build in that way. So you always have a file that you knew was successful. Okay? Does everybody get what I mean?
Is this like to stay on the app, you know, like when you,
Yeah, this is to stay
so
on
that
the.
it doesn't like bring you out of it?
Exactly.
Okay, because I wanted to do something like this for like the clothing companies that I wanted to incorporate, and like click on something like that.
Yes.
just bring it
So
over.
that's how you stay in the field guide.
Okay.
Yes. Super cool, right? Who knew? Okay. Also, when you submit your field guides, I'll remind you of this, or you remind me of this. If you added things that weren't on the list, that are interactive, that weren't on the list, so you've exceeded expectations, write them down. Say, and by the way, I did that. You didn't even ask for that, right? We get that? All right. So, who would like to work with scrollable type or work in InDesign? What would you like to start with? Pull tabs? Pull tabs. Okay. So I practiced pull tabs today. So let's stay with our little cute snowy plover. Actually, let me save this. Let's add a third page. So I'm dragging down a third page. I don't want that stuff there. Okay. So if you want to pull tab, let's go to our snowy plover page. All right, let's just do this. So that was such a pretty picture of the snowy plover, we're sticking with it. There it is. So I got a snowy plover or a surf photo. Okay, so I'm going as deep as the page, Chelsea, and it stopped there. If I went Command Shift Option E, no, Command Shift, oh, it is the right size. If I did this, there you go. There. Command Shift Option E, that's the full image fitting proportionately in the window.
Yeah.
If I want to fill it, it's Command Shift Option C, fills the window proportionally. So if I click on this with my content tool, you'll see where it exceeds the boundary of the window. Okay?
Say that again, it's command what?
You don't have to remember it. Object fitting, and then you just read which choice you want.
Oh,
That's, I never really do it with smart keys because it's too hard to remember until you practice it. Okay, so we're at the snowy plover. So here's, I'm going to lock this down so it doesn't move. Object lock. I'm going to create a pull tab. If you guys want to do this with me, you can. So you can make some progress on your exercises. You can create a window, and we're doing pull tabs. And right here, I'm going to create a rectangle, and then I'm going to hold my mouse down and go to an ellipse tool, and I'm going to create, holding my shift key down, a circle right here. And the reason I did that is I'm going to take this circle, move it halfway out here, select the circle and the rectangle by holding my shift key down. I'm going to my color panel, and I'm going to fill this with black. Okay? And then I'm going to go to Window, Object Layout, Pathfinder, and take my circle and take my rectangle and turn them into one shape that looks like a pull tab you used to get with your little finger pulling things out, right? I was going to say dictionaries that had those. Remember that? And here's a Pathfinder which unites everything, and now that's one single shape. Alrighty? Everybody get that? All right. And I'm going to make this an easy number and scale it just so I can remember the size of it. Yes?
Did you group them again?
I didn't group them.
Oh.
I selected them both at the same time. I went to Window, and I went to Object Layout, Pathfinder. With them both selected, I went to the Pathfinder symbol that looks like they unite both active things. And it's a single shape. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little text box, and I'm going to type the word pull. There we go. And I'm going to fill that with white. And I'll make it impact type. Here it is. And I'll make it kind of big so you can see it. And then I'm going to go to my rotation tool and rotate it. Oops, I didn't want to rotate it once. Here. And put it on top. So now we know what to do with this black thing. Yeah? And I can put in this pull tab music, a button to start a video, type. I can put a picture in it. I can put information. Yeah, Annie.
I tried this yesterday and the music wouldn't work for me, and I saw the video from
Yep.
last year
Yep.
that it didn't work for.
You know, I tried that this morning too, and it didn't work. And then I saw another one that talked about it. I have successfully done it. I have, but it didn't work last year too, and I didn't know why it didn't work for me today.
Okay.
And I tried it again. So I'm going to do it without the video, without the music, and then if we want to do that, we'll try it. But right here, actually, let me just place an image. So here we go. Command D. I'm going to find some image of the slow loris we did a while back. A cousin to the snowy plover. Okay. So it doesn't really matter what we're doing. We could put type, we could put anything here. We can try together and see if we can successfully do the music if you want. Again. Let's try it. Let's do it successfully this way, the way we know. So now I've got word, I've got a shape that looks like a pull tab, I've got something, it's like an aha, look how cool this is moment of what we'll see of our little loris there, peering at us. There we go. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all three of these things, the type, the tab, and the picture, and I'm going to group them, Command G. Now I'm going to look at the complete size of that shape, which is 360 by 75, okay? And my tab, really what I want my tab to do is look like this. I want the pull part to be on the live area of the field guide, and I want the part that you pull out, the surprise part, to be off the page. Everybody get that? So now I'm going to go here to my rectangle tool, and I'm going to create a rectangle that's, what did I say this was, 360 by 75. Let's see, 360 by 75. So here's my rectangle. There is no stroke to it. I'm going to make it 360 by 75 pixels. We're in pixels. It's identical in size to my pull tab. Everybody get that? All right. I'm going to move it to align with my pull tab, and the edge of it is on the edge of the field guide, and the open part is inside the field guide. Everybody see how it's positioned? That's essentially the area that you're pulling your pull tab into. Yeah? Make sense? Okie doke. And I'm going to take my pull tab and I'm going to bring it to the front. Object arrange, bring to front. And then what I'm going to do is this. With my pull tab, I'm going to go to Edit, Cut. I'm going to make active that rectangle that's the exact perfect size for my pull tab. And I'm going to go to Edit, Paste Into. And look what happens to it when I paste into it. Just watch. Notice how it pastes into the rectangle, but you can't see what's sticking off the page. All right. That's it. That's all I do. Now with this active, if I remember right, it should be scrollable frame. So I go to scrollable frame. I turn scrollable frame on. I want it to pull out horizontally. I can hide the scroll indicators. I don't need it because I have instructions. And I want it just like it looks right now in my document, so I'm going to use my document position and leave the export for vector. There's fine. And now I'm going to save my document for my pull tab, and I'm going to go to preview, and I'm going to preview on desktop and see if it worked. And then we'll see what we did wrong, Annie, with that sound thing. There we go. So in theory, I should click on it and drag it. And it'll only go as far as that rectangle allows it to go. Yeah? Not bad, right? So this is how you turn this pull tab business into me. You take a screenshot like that, and a screenshot like that, and a screenshot like that. Okay? Put it in a PDF or a JPEG or something. All right? That's how John and I know you did it. Yes.
You could also make a video of you doing it.
Like Annie did, I think. Didn't you turn something in with a video, Annie? Once I showed you how to make a SWIF out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah? She did. Okay, you want to see scrollable text now? Yeah. Okay. So let me show you this. So let's do this thing again. Watch. This is what I messed with today. I was actually a little bit proud again. So here's a rectangle. Here's my circle. Same thing. So I have two boxes. One's a circle, one's an oval. I'm going to fill them with black. Maybe. There we go. I'm going to do that thing I did before, which is object, array, object, pathfinder, make them one unit. So now I've got that shape. Okay. I'm going to type the word pull. I'm going to select the word pull, go to my eyedropper, normal one. I drop the word pull here. Let me highlight my text. Hang on. There we go. Go to my eyedropper, and I drop the word pull, and it picked up my type attributes. And then like the other one, I'm going to rotate it and move it to about the center of this. There we go. Yep, pretty good. So now this is going to be a pull out. But before I turn it into a pull out, and one of the things you could do with this is you can take this black, you can go to Window Effects, and you can make it multiply. And I can change the opacity of this to 70%, and I can see my snowy plover behind it, which is kind of neat, right? Kind of elegant. I can also, what do I want to do? I now want to make a rectangle here for scrollable text about the snowy plover. That's the rectangle my snowy plover text is going to go into. But I'm going to have lots of text about it, so I want it to be scrollable text also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a text box that is not as wide as the other box, and I'm going to fill it with placeholder text. I'm going to select my text. I'm going to make it, it's 12 points, probably not bad, but let's make it 18-point text on 30-point leading. And let me select all the text that exceeds it and delete it. So that text box you see, which is larger than my page, has text that fills us up but doesn't exceed the boundaries of the text box you can see now, right? Everybody get that? Yes? Okay, Jake's nodding for me. I appreciate it. Okay.
This one's pretty easy.
Okay, so now I'm just going to align this text box on top of this rectangular text box. Leave room here for scrolling, okay? Notice that this text box exceeds the boundaries of the page. And I'm going to cut this box out, Command X. I'm going to make active, just like I did before for scrolling, this empty box, which is my boundary, and I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to paste into. All right? So let's see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to go to Folio Overlay. With this active, I'm going to make it a scrollable frame. I'm going to make it scroll vertically. I'm going to use the document position, and I can choose to hide scroll indicators or not. I have trouble with the scroll indicators. They don't always show up for me. Did you have trouble with that, Annie?
I didn't do this one.
Oh, you didn't do it? Okay. So one of the things I saw in one of the tutorials was they hid the indicators, but they created arrows. So right now, for example, I have my polygon shape. I'm hitting my Option key. I'm going to make this a three-sided shape, which makes it a triangle. And I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to turn this thing into not black, but white. And I'm going to make a little skinny triangle out of it, like that, which indicates, yes, this is going to scroll, okay? And then I'm going to go to my flip horizontal, hold my Option key down, which is a duplication thing, and oops, I want to do it vertically. Flip vertical, and I've copied it, and holding my Shift key down, I've got these two things right here. And if I drag these over here, it's going to indicate to somebody that it scrolls. They might think it's a button or not, but because it's an iPad, they'd probably just know to scroll it. So I'm just going to set these aside here. There it is, centered. And I think what I'll do is I'll change their opacity so they're not quite so white to, let's say, 80%. There we go. Okay, now, so I've got my scrollable text box. I've hidden my scroll indicators. It goes vertical. It's done. Now, this sits in here in my pull tab. Now I'm going to take my pull tab box. I'm holding my shift key down and my pull word, and I'm going to group them. And I'm going, oh, I see, that's where my problem was. Grouping things, Annie. I think that's what our problem was with that pull tab, with that didn't play the sound, I think. So I'm going to take this shape, let me click off of it, I'm going to take this shape. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Okay, I'm going to group these. And I'm going to select all of this, my text box and that big black background. And I'm going to look at the measurement, which is 593 by 697. And I'm going to make a rectangle, which I said was 593 by 697, right? Is that what I said? And then I'm going to put this over here, align it with my what I'm pulling out, my scrolling copy pull tab. Everybody with me? Liam, you with me?
Yep.
I thought so. Okay. Take off the stroke. I'm going to object arrange, send it to the back. Let's see. Actually, it doesn't even matter. Let me take everything here and hold my shift key down and deselect that rectangle.
The new one?
The new empty one. That's aligned perfectly. And what I want to do is, so now it's just this live black stuff. I'm going to group it. Hopefully grouping it won't screw it up. And I'm going to move it to where I can see the word pull, but I don't see my text so much, right? Like to right there. Everybody follow me? And with that, I click on it, I cut it, Command X. I make active this rectangle that was aligned with it, yes. I go to Edit, Paste Into. Do the same thing as I did on the left. With that active, I go to Scrollable Frame. I turn it on. I pull it out horizontally. I keep the position it's in. I'm going to hide the indicators, and let's see if this works. I did it this morning and it did work. Okay, the moment of truth. All right, so let's just make sure this is working. That worked before we did it. This I click on and we did it. Oh, I forgot to make my type white. I pulled it out and now it scrolls. Oh man, I'm just impressed. Now, the only thing I would do differently, so let's fix it, is the type needs to be white and the box should not have a stroke around it. So I can hit undo, undo. I found that undo, levels of undo, once you've applied this stuff, doesn't work. So, see, I've tried, there we go. Look at that. Okay, so for this box, I don't want it stroked. I stroke it with nothing. The type in it, I want it white. Okay, now I take this, all of this, I cut it, Command Exit, I activate the scrollable text box, I go to Edit, Paste Into. I think I went too far back, but that's okay. And now I go to Folio Overlay, Scrollable Frame, turn it on, horizontal, turn off the scroll bars, keep the document position, and now I'll test it. Now it should be easier to see.
Mine's not working.
Well, you know, sometimes it is working, and sometimes it's weird when we mess with our.
No, like the paste into, it won't let me paste into it.
Oh, we'll come around and help you. Anyway, so here's my pull tab. What I want you to notice here is this. with these pull tabs. I personally think that when you can see the background behind something, it's cool. Because you feel like you haven't left your page and it doesn't obliterate something. So think about that as an option depending on what you're doing. And then, so this is a double scrollable thing. The other thing I want to call attention to is it doesn't have to be text that's scrolling here. You could have a box filled with sequential images and scroll those vertically. Yeah, John?
I would question having that semi-transparent background on text, so it might tend to confuse the eye.
I like it. But you're right. You can change it to be 90%. It's at 70% just so you can prove the point. But you're right. It could. So I'm going to pause here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop here because we've done scrollable text and we've done pull tabs both. So if you show us again, if you show us this here and another picture of it a little further out and a little further out, then we know you've done it. Okay, and that's what you're submitting for pull tabs. All right, so I'm going to end the video and we'll go around the room and I'll try and help troubleshoot whatever you got going on. Okay, and then please, 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 please come back next Wednesday. We'll start on time. And please come with your storyboards. They are due next Wednesday. I'm 100% certain of it. So have them and have further roughs. And if you have roughs you showed today and you're making revisions, bring in your revisions. And those of you who did not show it today, have them ready to roll. Yeah? Okay. All right. Beautiful.